Hi, I'm Manny Botticelli. Welcome to my October 2019 horoscope report for you. It is my intention with this video to give you what you'll need to make the most of the stars this month. There will be challenges, and I will offer information on how you can make the most of those, and there will be sweet spots, and I will give you dates and all the things that you need to make the most of those. So definitely also check out anniehelpsyou.com for more free resources and all kinds of other things to help you on your starry journey. If you are in resonance with how I teach and you want to learn, then you can also check out at anniehelpsyou.com my astrology apprenticeship program. Definitely go to radicalprayerbook.com to check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days, which is a book of radical prayers and affirmations that will help you create the life of your dreams. It is an Amazon bestseller, and it is a beloved companion to my fellow spiritual seekers, or so I have heard from many people. So what is in the stars for you this month? Hello Leo friends, welcome to my October 2019 horoscope report for you. October is a wonderful month for having this crazy balance, this balance that everybody's always looking for. We've got half the month split into this wide open end of the open stars for pushing things out into the world. So the first part of October until around the 12th is finishing off that 2-month open window that started in the middle of August of no personal planet retrogrades or shadow periods. So I liken that period of time to like the tides going out and you're trying to set your boat out. So you'll have more power behind whatever you're trying to push out at that time through the first couple of weeks of October. Then in the middle of the month, everything starts to change as we move every day towards October 31st, deeper into the Mercury retrograde energy. So it doesn't actually go retrograde until October 31st, but every day we get closer to the 31st from the 12th is like stepping into a deep, cave. You can see the sunlight at first, but the deeper you go in, the sunlight, you can't see it anymore. And it's all about inward and backward energies. So retrogrades are not bad. Retrogrades are amazing. They're just better for certain things than other things. And what they are wonderful for is having already made your web and letting things come to you. It's a time when past efforts can be rewarded beautifully. It's a time when things that you've worked on in the past can finally start to get wrapped up. This is an amazing time to wrap up loose ends. And it's specifically awesome because if you did launch things in that open window in the first part of October that started in the middle of August and went all the way through September, then great, you can be reevaluating, rethinking, redoing, tweaking. And if you weren't able to launch anything, you could be wrapping up and preparing for the big launch, the big move, the big decisions. And so December 9th through the beginning of February is this next very big open window for pushing things forward. It's really important to note these because 2020 is a year of retrogrades. So once we get into a little bit into February, all of the retrograde energies are going to take root, and inwards and backwards are going to be the themes. And there will be little bubbling up for air patches that are very small throughout the year that you can push some things through if you have to have some clear energy for pushing out. But the theme is more going to be supported by working with the things you have, going back to past ideas, letting things from the past come to be your new present or future, anything related to your inner world, and also just working back over old things to clear them up and to get them ready for the next launch phase. So October is split in half that way. So you've got room for everything this month, basically, depending on whatever mode you're in. Now, in general, as the planets move into Scorpio, and I am talking a lot about Scorpio for a month when the sun is mostly in Libra, right? So maybe you will be thinking the sun is in Libra and, for most of the month, and why aren't we talking a lot about that? Because the Scorpio energies are going to dominate this month, regardless of the fact that the sun is still going to be in Libra. Now, the energy in Libra is quite supportive to Leo placement. So you are going to have kisses from Venus and Mercury, especially for those of you later in the sign, in the beginning of the month, as those planets finish off their Libra transit. But the predominance of the energies are going to be in Scorpio. So we have to talk more about that. And Scorpio energies are in more conflict with Leo energies because they make 90-degree angles. So this is going to be an emotional month. This is going to be a time when emotions reign supreme. Leo and fire signs tend to be more action-oriented and tend to be just in this constant, creative expression and things bubbling out into the world. And Scorpio energy brings us in. It's not a natural flow for Leos. But it is what is called for now, and it will help you with more creativity in the future. And I'm not saying that you can't be super creative at this time, because you can. But there is something that has to do with emotion and intimacy and relationships and, the sectors of money and communication and housing and homes and real estate are all going to be brought up for Leos in a big way. Also, the energy of work is constantly being affected by some outer planet things. And then we also have the energy of the 9th house, which is really, your perceptions, and also has to do with publishing and writing and speaking and teaching and learning and international things. So there's just quite a lot of things that we're working with. And of course, there's even more. But I want to go into lots more details about what the Leo charts look like. I am an astrology teacher, so I delight in showing you on the charts not just what may happen, but why. So I'm going to drop the charts in now and go into lots more details about what Leo can expect for the month of October. Okay, so many of the things I talk about will be true for all Leo placements, but there will be places where we differentiate out. And so we want to see where you're at in the Leo spectrum. Early Leo placements are pretty much the July born, or 0 to 9 degrees. Middle, around August 1st through 10th, or 10 to 19 degrees. And late is around August 11th through 20 to 29 degrees. This report is equally for you if you have your moon in Leo or your rising is Leo. So the moon chart, the rising chart, the sun chart are all windows we look out of to look at the more complex astrological picture for each individual. Okay. So I just want to do a quick overview of giving you a visual of some of the things I talked about, and then we can look into some other things. And actually, before I do that, I want to give you a little background about what it is that you're looking at. The sight of a chart can send people screaming and running away because, look at it, it's it's monstrous, right? When I first looked at charts and I had an astrologer tell me that I was going to be an astrologer, the person who became my astrology teacher looked at my chart and said, "You're going to be an astrologer." And I said, "No, I'm actually not interested in that." And I said, I just don't understand how it could help people with that. It's all so general, is what I thought. And then I proceeded to have night school in astrology start and started to get the download about how things can be brought down to the very personal level. And we can do that in many ways, even in these general charts. You can do it more when you're looking at your personal chart. That's a whole other story. But the point is, looking at these charts is not for the faint of heart, right? That's the point. So each of these houses, first, second, third, and so on, these are fields of experience that we have as humans. You notice there are 12 houses and there are 12 signs. So there's a sign that has rulership for each house. So it rules, it sets the tone of what that house is all about. It matches with a sign. And as different planets, which are in different signs, move through the houses, they bring in this complex layering of experience. Very much, I always liken everything to food, like you could have 3 ingredients and you can mix them in a different way in different ratios and make 3 completely different meals. And that's how we are. All of these 12 houses, which are related to the signs, the signs are ingredients in a person pie and ingredients in an experience pie. And everyone has all of them in it, just different ratios. And the periods of time that we look at for horoscopes have different factors that have different ingredients that carry different tones that shape how we experience that period of time. Okay, so the first ingredient we have is this Libra energy. And Libra energy, as we talked about, is a nice energy that matches really well with Leo placements. I'm using the early degree chart right now, but I'm talking about all Leo placements unless I otherwise indicate. So everything in astrology is back to math. It's based in math. It's a science. It's based in math. And the mathematical angles that the planets make with each other and other important parts of the chart have certain qualities that bring certain flavors, again, which, enhance or detract or, color, we'll say, the experience. So when planets are in a sign that make a nice, which is a 60-degree angle, with Leo energies, it brings opportunities. My 60-degree angle, I hope you all will always remember, is the ingredients on the pie angle, or ingredients on the counter, rather, angle to make a pie. So you have all of the stuff you need to make a pie with a 60-degree angle. If that time passes and you say, Annie, where's my pie? Annie, where's my pie? Sometimes I will hear somebody say, something, well, this didn't happen or this didn't happen, and goodness, I'm not responsible for what you do with your pie ingredients, right? So you have ingredients that will be presented as these Libra energies mix with your Leo placements. And the more Leo placements you have, the more that this will be true. As the planets move into Scorpio, as they will very early in the month, that creates a different situation. That creates a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angles are points of tension. They're stress points. The energy of Scorpio in general is very emotional, and that's for everybody. It's a water sign, and it's a super emotional energy. So the energy of emotion and water, I'm circling these over here because I'm visualizing how these are moving here. You don't see that. That's in my mind, but just to kind of give you a little, okay, see how this is, there are 20, all right, so there's 0 through 29 degrees of each sign. So the later you get in degree, the closer you are to switching over to the next sign. And so when you have a late degrees like this, they're going to pass over pretty quickly into here. So early in the month, boom, that's going, and then later in the month, that will go into Scorpio. So I'm imagining like all of this energy to be full of Scorpio, because as the month progresses, that's exactly what would happen. This is a static chart we're looking at. We have to add the life into it by understanding where these planets are moving. So the emotion starts to take over with every day that we move into the month of October, plus the other things we talked about with the retrograde, and that's, part of all this. But as these planets move into Scorpio, all of those planets moving through Scorpio are going to, boom, make 90-degree angles with your Leo placements. And those are challenging. Those are stress points. Those are the points we also, I call them diamond points, okay? Because the diamond is made by a whole bunch of pressure. It's in the earth, there's pressure, and they make these beautiful, sparkly diamonds. So when we have these aspects, it's time for pressure to be applied so that we can crack open our sparkly, shiny diamond self, even in a bigger way. Okay, so you can see those things at play. Now, as these planets make these oppositions, okay, so we talked about Uranus being the planet of surprises. So as all these planets, now again imagining with me that these are in Scorpio, they make these oppositions, it's bringing up a polarity, not only of me versus we, which is for everybody, like your stuff versus other people's stuff, merging with people, your independence, those storylines. It's also bringing up the sectors of home and work. And this is especially true for early and middle, okay, because even though this is here, it's close to here, so we're reading it in both places. For you later degree placements, this polarity, and also for some of you middle, this polarity of the surprises and the jolts is really more centered around this 3rd and 9th house. Okay, so the early and middle degree placements more have this pull, surprises, exciting news, jolting news, with work versus home. Things happening with your home and family that may affect work, or work things affecting home, or being pulled, towards a lot of work and a lot of home and family. And your personal relationships, like your romantic relationships, can show up in this 4th house as well, because, if you live with the person or you're in close quarters with the person, it's like your home energy can be centered around them. Whereas the middle and later degree placements, where this polarity is occurring with Uranus and the aspects that oppose it, the planets that oppose it, is in the 3rd and 9th house. So that has to do with gathering information, sharing information, writing, teaching, publishing, international travel, This can also have to do with other, with relatives. So fourth house can be any relative. Third house is usually relatives other than your parents or kids. But since the fourth house is also accentuated, really any relative, a storyline can come here. And again, this could be a good thing. This could be, opportunities with cousins, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, things like that. And it can also be conflicts as well with any of those people. Ultimately, we have to remember with the planet Uranus, what is being asked for and what is being brought, whether we're asking, whether we're interested or not, is change, radical change. And it tends to bring the most insights and the most information and the most events into the house that it's traveling through. And this is a really good example. When we look at these outer planets and their transits, you can see how the charts are different. So for the early degree placements, this has really been waking up your work sector, and also the middle degree placements. You're having this influence there as well. But the work, your place out in the world sector is being activated. Whereas for the middle, which, you tend to have things happening in two different houses because you're feeling it in one place and also in the other. But the late degree placements, you can see that Uranus is really here. It's in the 9th house. It's not really doing that yet. You might have whispers of that, might be undercover, deep. But really, the way that you look at things, your perspectives on things, how you're viewing life is more the bigger picture, and how you're sharing. I mean, both of these have to do with sharing your work in the world, but, it has subtle differences. So people in the middle and late degree placements, these sudden shifts in how you see things, like really dramatic religious view changes, really dramatic philosophical changes, are all things that tend to go with Uranus moving through the 9th house. Okay, so something else to note, especially, this is mostly for the early degree people now. If your birthday is in the first week or so of the sign, or the first 7 or 8 degrees, Uranus is squaring your Leo placements. Okay, so like we'll say basically the July born, mostly through especially like the 29th, 30th, you've been in this cycle for a while of having extra change, forced on you. And it could be uncomfortable, but if you look at your life over the last, year and a half or whatever, you'll note, or especially probably, I guess a little bit over a year, you'll see the types of changes that have occurred in that time are things maybe you've been waiting for your whole life. They could seem like they came out of the blue, and they might have been hard, and maybe they're still hard, but you know that the change is activating something that's important that has to happen. It's a major catalyst. So having the planet Uranus square your sign is a major catalyst to step into who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. That being said, for all Leo placements, and actually for everybody, any Uranus transit of any kind that's coming into any mathematical contact with anything, which is occurring this month for everybody, can put a lot of pressure on your nervous system. So you might need more B vitamins if those are safe for you. I'm not a doctor, you have to assess that. You might need more, magnesium, L-theanine, just whatever it is that is safe for you, that calms you down and relaxes your nervous system. Meditation. This month is definitely going to be a little jolty because of those oppositions. Okay, so these are the things most on my mind for y'all this month. Definitely look for my video called October 2019 Must Knows for All Signs, because I'll go into more specifics about the general transits, and while they're not specific to Leo, they will be factors in your astrological picture. So I'll give you more details in that video as well. So definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter, which will give you access a month ahead to a written version of the general transit so that you have those dates and all that information for your planning. Definitely, if you're interested in learning more about astrology, you can check out my Astrology Basics and Beyond course. And if you want to go deeper, if you think I go into details in the videos, you should see my Astrology Apprenticeship program. So you can see more about that and my other vocational assistance, including a Creating Successful Online Business course. You can check all of that out at anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely go to my husband's website, B.R. Newman, which is IamHelios, IamHelios.com. And definitely pick up my book, Radical Prayer. Transform your life in the world in 28 days. You can go to radicalprayerbook.com or search for Radical Prayer and Annie Botticelli on Amazon. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month.